Nicole's here for the color today.
Well,
Look like you got some color over the weekend.
oh, I spray tanned.
Yeah,
That's my gig.
I'll be looking like Michael Jackson over here.
I had to film. I got to do a commercial for Bender last week, so I had to spray tan.
This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 71 of The Real Word. Episode 71.
Word is up.
Word is up.
Wait, can we though, real quick? Do you mind?
Let's do it. Whatever you got before we get into it.
I feel like because it's Monday after Mother's Day, we have to at least just say Happy Mother's Day to all of those it's not late at all of those hardworking mamas out there doing your thing. I see you. Happy Mother's Day.
Wow.
Yeah. Come on, I'm a mom. I have my bracelet on. I have my Mother's Day bracelet on. It's like cutting off circulation.
Oh.
But I have it. It has Nate's name on it and my name on it.
That's very cool.
He gave me a sign that says that he loves me more than the sun is hot. I feel like, wow, that's a lot.
Wow, that is. It's a lot to live up to right there. That's the hard. I will admit that's the hardest job in probably the world today.
Yes.
Being a mother.
It is. So happy Mother's Day.
I'll agree with you there. All right.
Okay. Right into it. Let's do it.
Right into it. If you're
going from Mother's Day, we're going into 7 men.
Yeah, I'm gonna give. We go from the women to the men.
Directly to the men. 7 men.
There was 7 men on this this talk. I am going to, instead of doing 3 rackets on this show, we're gonna do 2 rackets, and I'm going to, before we do the 2 rackets, give a summary on the T360 Summit, the T3 Summit of 2019.
Were any of your friends there? Did you have any friends there?
I had some friends there.
Fun?
I had the CEO of Planomatic was there. Corey, he was there. Tom Toole was there.
Oh, fun.
Doug Edrington was there. Jess from the Tom Ferry Network. She was from the Tom Ferry company. You met Jess.
I wasn't
Jess
there,
loves
though.
you, by the way. She was disappointed not to see you.
Well, you didn't invite me.
Well, because this happens to be invite only. It's 400 people a year get invited. They don't invite women.
Clearly.
No, that's a joke. There's lots of women there. There's lots of men. It was very even. I found I didn't count. I did find it even. I ended up literally, if you don't know, look up T3. If you're in real estate, look up T360. Stefan Swanepoel puts this conference on once a year. It's 400 people, invite only. It is only C-suite executives, CEOs, and the 7 main speakers. Listen to this lineup. Just ridiculous lineup. Rich Barton, new CEO of Zillow. He started it off. Ron Peltier, the executive chairman of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. He's been in the business 40 years.
His teeth are really white.
Gorgeous teeth. I agree. I noticed that when they were very nice.
Yeah.
Robert Refkin, CEO of Compass. John Payton, CEO of Realogy. If you're following their stock, that went from like $25 about 2 weeks ago to now trading at $8. So if you're a Realogy believer, Realogy, like Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, ERA, Corcoran. If you believe in those companies, I'd go buy that stock today if you believe in them.
One of the Sotheby's branches sold off in Canada. Did you read that?
I haven't. Also, we had Gary Keller. Never, ever does these types of events. He did the Inman one. That's the only other one he's done in the last year when he got into the the little beef. We covered that.
You're smiling.
I was there. Gary Keller was amazing. I will say
he's drinking the Keller Williams Kool-Aid.
We're not Keller Williams or anything like that. I will say Gary Keller is amazing.
Is he like your man crush? Like your new man crush?
I would have dinner with him. I would drop everything to go have dinner with the man. He was very interesting to listen to.
He was it sounded like he was very influential. Like you're buying into his.
Oh,
his
I'm buying anything he's selling.
Yeah.
And here's why. He is so like unwavering on his opinions of what's going to take place over the course of the future here in real estate. He knows where he's headed. He will not even listen to, much like our CEO, Bill Raveis, William Raveis, when he knows he wants something or knows something's right, he's not going to listen to any outsider to change his mind.
Yeah.
Gary Keller was impressive. And I'm going to recap kind of the themes here.
Yep.
Glenn Sanford, CEO of EXP, they're about to hit 100,000 agents. They'll be the only brokerage that does that in the last decade, according to Stefan. And then Glenn Kelman, the CEO of Redfin. So those were the 7. There was a bunch of other people that spoke. There was some really good people.
Wouldn't it be fun to be like
CEO
a fly on that wall? Like if these 7 men actually they had dinner together.
I would have loved to have seen the
green
room.
Do you think anyone's actually listening to each other? They probably aren't even listening to each other. You think they're even listening to one
another? They
another?
were listening very closely. Here's why, Nicole.
Well, when they were on stage, I'm sure.
No, because they were all at different times. So Stefan had the same questions basically for all 7 CEOs. So they would come out one after another. But once you got to like Robert Revkin, who was number 3, and then John, and then Gary Keller certainly at 5, they were commenting, if you listened closely, on what some other people said. And I will say these 7 individuals disagree on a lot of stuff.
So it's interesting. I wonder if Richard wished that he maybe was able to come back to sort of, like the
rebuttal?
It's sort of like on Christmas when you do like the Chinese grab bag,
Yes.
Like if you're number 2, you're stuck, man. You're stuck with whatever anybody else doesn't want.
Some of the things that Richard mentioned, he probably would have wanted to come back.
I'm sure.
And kind of counterpunch.
Certainly, I wonder if they picked like straws. Like, how do you line that up?
Stefan said he lined it up due to flight schedules because there was questions about that. There was questions why there wasn't women on the panel. But there was women later in the event. There was lots of women. But
talking and then flying out again?
Well, I guess Richard Barton, he was first because it was flights. Anyways, that's not what this is about.
Oh, well.
I know you're very interested in that. There was other people at the event interested in that. I was not one of them.
No, I'm sure.
Here's the deal. These 7 individuals, you could say these are the 7 most powerful people today in residential real estate.
Yes.
You could say that, and you'd be very close to being correct if you're not. So they disagreed on a bunch. What they did agree on, that's what I'll cover here. They all agree that iBuyer is going to be a percentage of the market, a percentage of a percentage. So it's not going to touch, according to these guys and many others, the high end really at all, because the high end's too risky. We know that with the days on market, and even good markets like New York City know what the heck we're talking about.
Well, and then carrying costs, taxes. I mean, there's so many things to take into consideration.
So a percentage of the percentage of the market is going to go the iBuyer route, which means I'm going to be able to just get an offer by going on to Zillow or maybe in the future Berkshire Home Services, Compass. They're doing a great job with their coming soon stuff to generate leads. By the way, you can
Compass's
check that.
Marketing and branding is beautiful.
Very slick.
It's so pretty.
But I mean, Gary Keller alluded to it. All of these guys, Redfin already has it, will have an iBuyer program where you can sell your home directly to these companies by literally going onto an app and getting an offer and accepting it. Now, it's going to be I believe, and most of these guys believe, somewhere between 5 to 15% of that niche of the market, when I say niche, it might be a 3-bed, 2-bath home in a lot of communities on a postage stamp lot because you can predict what the value of that home is going to be. So 10 to 15% of those homes that transact are going to go the iBuyer route. That makes sense. Who does that hurt? We've talked about this before. It might hurt your local investor because they're not getting that deal anymore. Does it really hurt the real estate agent? I don't think so. These are really low-end deals.
Yeah.
Number 2 point, and it's a good segue on something they all did agree on, is these lower end deals are very vulnerable. This is just step 1 to allowing a homeowner that wants to sell who is maybe on the lower end of the price range ease to make the transaction happen, right? So like when Uber started in San Francisco, you couldn't get an Uber here in Connecticut on these little shoreline communities. But now if we go on our app right now today, 5, 6, 7 years later, we can get an Uber to anywhere within minutes to come here, right?
Well,
and these are little
towns. It's a few more than minutes.
Yeah, I mean maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, depending on where you are in Connecticut.
Yeah.
But I get Ubers all the time from Bradley Airport, which is a 60-minute drive to my house in I do that all the time, and I don't even have to like second guess. It's at midnight. Boom, I get an Uber. It happens for me. So at scale, we have Uber 5, 6, 7 years later. Great. The iBuyer is happening in a bunch of different markets. Fast forward 5 years, long time, not a long time.
No.
How much this will be at scale. And what they also agree on is technology, AI, big data in particular. They were all hung up on this rush for data mining will impact the lower end of the market. In fact, Robert Revkin said, if you're operating right now in a marketplace that deals with homes under 500,000, move out and leave. He believes that strongly that technology and data and AI are going to eat up the low end of the market. Now, racket number one kind of alludes to some of this with buyers agents being less and less important because of technology, because of the data. Very interesting stuff. They're all fighting over the same thing right now. Who can be the first company, because they don't even believe Zillow's there yet, to have the stronghold of data? I think Zillow's got the biggest advantage, but Keller Williams, with what they're going to launch in Q1, Gary was very passionate about their AI. That's what they're all looking to do, is build technology around data. So
maybe I'll get invited next year.
Maybe. It's possible.
I'll have to
But I will,
do more dances on the real
Nicole
word.
doesn't get invited, I already got my invite. I will give you the update again next year. Any thoughts on kind of what's happening?
No, I think it's really fun to listen to you recap because you love it.
I do love it.
You glow. You sort of glow when you talk. And I enjoy that.
I think a lot of people take some of this stuff that's going on as a way to be fearful. I don't think there's any need to be fearful, and none of them are saying that the agent's going away. They're just saying there's going to be massive commission compression in the lower end, and
I don't think that there should be any fear. I think the people that are fearful are just the ones that aren't properly educating themselves. So you're always fearful in the unknown, and it's sort of their own faults for not really knowing what's going on or what's changing or what's happening, or at least sort of maybe coming up with like a new strategy for your own business so that you don't get swallowed up, like you're saying, in that buyer end. Remarket yourself, rebrand yourself, figure out a new strategy, because things are changing, but like you should be too. So, and
can you use this data maybe if you're a Keller Williams agent next year when they launch their AI platform? Can you use that platform? Can you build your own platform as an agent or a brokerage that will allow you to build out businesses on top of the transaction, right? Like, how many businesses could you potentially start as a real estate agent, broker, company for after the transaction?
So many things you can do. I mean, we talk about it all the time, the things that...
But think about just the things after the transaction.
Crazy.
Because most agents, most companies are walking away from the client after the transaction, yet they still have questions about their furnace. They still have questions about their roof.
Plowing.
There are so many different services that they need, that they have questions about, that they need resources for.
Yeah.
Could you not build a platform to still connect with them on that level and potentially earn a profit on that? Absolutely. And that's where I think a lot of agents have to start thinking, if you're a real estate agent, you're supposed to be an entrepreneur. You're a salesperson. You're supposed to be an entrepreneur. You're not supposed to just... And listen, there will be a number of agents that are just order takers. Hey, Zillow, send me the lead. I'll pay you 50% someday.
Well, because they don't.
All right. Racket number one.
Already.
Redfin, Glenn, who we mentioned, he was there, Glenn Kellman. The Redfin CEO sent a letter to the company's buyer's agents after they launched what is their Redfin Direct program, a new service that will enable buyers to make offers on Redfin listed homes through the company's website without agents. So this isn't the iBuyer thing where it's like, hey, I'm a seller, I want to sell my house to you, Redfin. Right. This is, we've got listings on Redfin, and we're going to allow you to buy it now like it's a Tesla, like it's a car. Right. Buy the house without using an agent. And so Glenn wrote this letter to their employees. I don't know if you want me to read it, or should I read it?
Want to read?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Go ahead, read the letter.
I'll read the start of it.
Why not? You like to talk.
Hi, everyone. Today we launched Redfin Direct, our online tool for unrepresented buyers. in Boston, so they're testing it in Boston, to make an offer on a Redfin listing. In our public announcement, we were clear that we expect the vast majority of people buying a Redfin listing to use a buyer's agent. That makes sense to me because right now the majority of buyers are working with a buyer's agent, and they're looking at a number of homes. If one of them happens to be the Redfin listing, then they're still going to be using their agent. They're not going to take that away from that buyer. Say, oh, you're using an agent, you can use it, but you have the ability not to use one.
Which I feel like some buyers are really preferring to go directly to a listing agent anyway. So they're really just sort of
to their point,
facilitating that.
And it doesn't say exactly when they started it, but they've to date, they've only sold 5 homes to Redfin direct buyers. So they're saying, hey, don't worry about it, guys. We've only sold 5 so far this way. It's going to be a low percentage of the market. But guys, everything adds up. Uber started with 1 car. It started in 1 city.
You're so profound.
I mean, it's just obvious what's happening, guys. Like, it started in 1 city in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then when they got scale and could prove the model, they went everywhere. They went global.
Right.
Like, okay, we're starting in Boston. Okay, Glenn, we've only done 5. Glenn, listening to this dude speak at T3 and hearing his passion. He's been the CEO for 14 years, by the way, Redfin. They've never made a dime. They announced earnings last week, went down 15%, went from $20 to about $16, $17. But he's passionate about the end consumer. He is 100% passionate. When you listen to Robert Refkin, the Compass CEO, talk about how the client to him is the agent and all he cares about is the agent and making the agent better, Glenn Kelman could not be more of the opposite. All he cares about is making it easier on the consumer.
Right.
And he was very, black and white about this. All he cares about is lowering the cost for them to do transactions, lowering the price of buying and selling, and giving them what they want. Starts with 5, then 50, then other markets.
Absolutely.
You will be able to buy homes with a click of a button.
Of course. Well, I mean, you can do that already. I mean, on even just like foreclosed properties. I mean, people have been able to access homes directly for a while now. They're just obviously doing it on a larger platform. And why not? I mean, I pay my hairdresser on Venmo.
Here's part of his letter. The only way to protect our agent's future is to put our customers first. They want the Redfin Direct to succeed because it benefits everybody, they say. The only way Redfin can honor our commitment to our agent's future is by giving you the best product to sell to customers. Listen, we know how much Redfin agents make. We know, we've gone over the reviews. It's not good. Their incomes aren't good. Their service isn't good. According to the reviews, hundreds of reviews, we've gone over this in a past Real Word. But the Redfin CEO, Glenn Kelman, he doesn't care. All he cares about is saving the end consumer money, and he better start caring about his shareholders if he doesn't want to experience another quarter like he just did in quarter 2 here of 2019.
But he was still popular enough to be top 7. So,
well, because they're
something right.
Well, because Redfin is a beast.
Right.
Yeah, they're an absolute. They're a giant right now. So, all right, what do you think though? Is this a racket? I mean, it's not a racket to me because it's just going to keep happening.
It's not a racket. It's not a racket at all.
So getting rid of buyer's agents. We've talked a little bit about this, and there's Redfin stock going down.
That's not really exactly what, but yes.
That's not getting rid of buyer's agents.
No, but easy.
That's the clickbait headline.
That's the gist.
All right, racket number 2. There's a startup. It's called Home Leaseback.
No, it's called.
No, it's a home leaseback startup. It's called Easy Knock. They just raised $215 million. Everybody's raising money. What they do is they will let homeowners cash out of their equity and rent back their house for 1.5 years while they're searching for a new one. Like, why does this make a lot of sense? You work with buyers all the time that have to do that sell and buy scenario. That's difficult.
Well, it's absolutely. I mean, it actually is. The fees are large, as you can imagine. I think that it ends up being almost 9% because they're actually trading the house. Like the house is going. Easy Knock is buying it.
On this
them.
thing,
yeah.
Their fees. So Easy Knock homeowners will pay anywhere from 3.5 to 9.5% of their home's value for the cost of selling and leasing back. That difference of 5 to 6% is basically, do you have an agent or not? So Leaseback prefers, by the way, for you not to have an agent.
Well, right, because they don't have to. I mean, but they're going to pay your agent, is what they're saying. They'll pay the agent.
They will.
Yes.
But here's the thing. All of this starts somewhere. Hey, we'll pay your agent now till we get enough people used to selling us their home and not using an agent till we don't have to anymore.
Right, but they actually get the house then back. There's a lot of deed swapping there, because at the end they are able to sell the house and then potentially make all their money back minus the costs from their equity. I mean, you definitely need equity. You need equity in your house, which I think that's going to probably be the biggest hiccup, because you will need some sort of equity for them to buy the house.
It does. This is an Inman article. We'll link it up as we always do. It doesn't say how much equity you need, but I agree with you.
I mean, again, to give 10%, I mean, just on a $300,000 house, you're already paying almost $30,000 in fees.
70% upfront equity cash out.
Yeah, I mean, who has that?
No, there's people out there that have it.
I guess where it helps is those people that are probably downsizing, moving south, or they don't really know where they want to go quite yet because they're just moving to a new, like they're going to be like kind of floaters. I wonder who predicts then like the mortgage. Is your mortgage payment? I mean, the rent, is your rent the same as the mortgage? I wonder how that all works. Anyway, regardless, I think that it's a very smart idea. There are, people do bridge loans for this. This is definitely a much easier way to sort of get out of your house and not feel rushed to find something, because I get that all the time. Nicole, I don't want to list my house yet because like I haven't found a house, and then they find the house and like their house isn't ready to be put on the market, and then they lose the house. So it's quite an interesting.
Here's what's happening from the top of the show here when we talked about T3 to what's happening with Redfin to what's happening here. All of the little intricacies of real estate are starting to be figured out now.
Right.
So when you had this situation in the past and maybe you had Uncle Jimmy float you some money in between, they're getting rid of Uncle Jimmy, these big tech companies. They're getting rid of the investor that puts signs on the telephone pole, we buy houses for cash. All of these little local players that were either friends helping people out or, a little tiny company without a brand are the low-hanging fruit for them to wipe out and replace it with technology. And it makes a lot of sense. Gary Keller made a great example. He's like, anybody right now that has started to use online banking, you deposit your checks on your phone, you can transfer money, all this kind of stuff that you do, like I do on my Bank of America app, right? All that kind of stuff. If one, the competing bank, let's say Wells Fargo, said to me, hey, why don't you come over here, but we need you to come into our branch and we're going to have like donuts and we're going to have like, nobody's going into a branch off of any type of value that they can provide when they have the mobile home app. And as this stuff starts to scale in real estate, nobody's going to use the old local approach that was romantic 7-15 years ago because somebody's telling them they should, or that's the way it's always been. If it's easier for them to do it here on the mobile device, they're going to do it there. So that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's fun.
None of it's a racket on this episode of 71.
I feel like so many things happened in the last 2 weeks while we were away.
That's right.
But all is good and fun. Yeah.
We're going to be back on schedule here next week. You're not going anywhere?
I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
No. Are you going anywhere? Oh, no. You are. You were thinking about. You said you were going to Naples.
Actually, no. Next week I am not here. No, I just thought about it. I'm at the Tom Ferry Vancouver event. So
really?
We will do something Friday.
You don't like it here, huh?
I don't like it in Vancouver. Tom, if you're listening, not a fan of the out-of-country experience.
Maybe we just do one Friday evening. We keep saying we're going to do another evening podcast.
We are committed to episode 72 coming out next week. We appreciate all of you guys here that watched to the end of episode 71. Please drop us a comment below on any of the 3 topics, anything you'd like us to talk about in the future, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that already.
Sounds pitchy to me.
Yeah, a little pitchy.
Super pitchy.
Just do it. All right. Keep it real, guys. Thank you.